Hey guys, Scott here. Welcome to Silva Playbook. Let's get right to it. In the last video, we talked about the trades, the Maxx Crosby trade from the Raiders to the Ravens. Well, if you woke up this morning and haven't seen the news yet, that trade is off. What? According to a statement from the Raiders, the Baltimore Ravens have backed out of the trade with Maxx Crosby. There appears to be some issue with his physical. The Ravens medical team did not feel comfortable passing Maxx Crosby's physical, and they have backed out of the trade for 2 number 1 draft choices, which doesn't mean that Maxx Crosby is injured. It just means that the Ravens doctors don't feel comfortable with giving up that much draft capital for a player coming off of a knee surgery. I myself had a meniscus surgery when I was in college. It took about 6 months to get over that. He's inside of that 6 months window. I remember myself not feeling fully myself until about a year after that, but I'm not a professional athlete. Maxx Crosby is going to be ready to go by training camp and by the start of the season for sure. You know, he may have to have some reduced time to allow for swelling and soreness that he's going to feel. But this guy is a beast. He's still going to be one of the star pass rushers in the NFL. This is not a major surgery. This is not an ACL tear or an Achilles tear. This is a meniscus. It's going to take a couple of more months for him to be fully functional, but it's not like he's not going to play next year. He's not going to miss part of the season. He's going to be able to play. So there's something going on here. The fallout from this is there were so many other teams that were wanting to trade for Maxx Crosby, including the Dallas Cowboys, who traded with the Packers to get Rashawn Gary to fill that spot that Maxx Crosby would have filled. Now, what are the Cowboys going to do? Their deal is not done yet either because the new league year doesn't start for a couple more hours. So are they going to back out of that deal so they can get Maxx Crosby, or are they going to trade and get Maxx Crosby to come in along with Rashawn Gary? It's just craziness there. There are lots of teams who, once they heard Maxx Crosby was not available, decided to go other ways and sign other people and make other trades to fill the spot that Maxx Crosby would have filled on their team. And now with the Ravens backing out of this, and they haven't made any sort of statement, the Ravens organization, about why. There is HIPAA laws and stuff. You're not really want to talk about this guy's medical condition. But the fact of the matter is, by the Ravens backing out like this, and the Raiders' asking price for Maxx Crosby was 2 number 1 draft picks. Now that the Ravens have done this, no one's going to give 2 number 1 draft picks. No one else was willing to give 2 number 1 draft picks before Friday anyway. So the Ravens were the only organization to do this. So now that they got him in their facility, they did a physical on him and decided, oh, wait, we can't give 2 number 1s for this. No one's going to give the Raiders what they want. So does that mean Maxx Crosby is now back to the Raiders? I mean, he said all the right things on his exit statements and in his podcast and how he wants to retire a Raider. So does that mean he's coming back to the Raiders and he's going to retire a Raider? Are they going to just are they going to be able to work this out? Like, this is just so insane. So many teams moved on and made moves because they weren't going to be able to get Maxx Crosby because he was a Raven. And now he's not. And the Raiders went and spent all this money and made all of these trades and free agent signings to help their roster, including getting a defensive end to play Maxx Crosby's position, Kwity Paye, and now they have him back. And this is going to mess with their salary cap if he has to stay. This is going to affect how they go forward. I'm assuming Maxx Crosby's going to get traded to someone else now. And maybe even the Ravens just don't want to give 2 number ones. Maybe the Ravens are like, look, we want him, but we're not going to give him for 2 number ones. They haven't said anything, so we don't know anything. I'm just here talking out of my ear hole. I don't know. Nobody knows. Even the insiders and all the NFL experts, nobody knows what's going on. I mean, Maxx Crosby's agent said he's fine. He's ahead of schedule. He's going to be ready to go. So, but now teams, they may want to trade for Maxx Crosby, but they're going to want their own medical staff to look at him before they even give them, an offer of what they're willing to give them. But no one's going to give them 2 number ones anymore. I mean, this is just crazy. I mean, a player of this level, of this skill, you don't usually back out on trades for them. Like, people back out on trades for failing physicals all the time. Just not someone of Maxx Crosby's stature and success. He's going to be good next year. That's just who he is. He can't help himself. That's the player he is. If you ever watch him play, the guy, his motor doesn't turn off. I mean, he fought. The reason he wanted to leave the Raiders is because they wanted to rest him because of his knee injury at the end of the year last year, and he wanted to play on a team that was going nowhere and doing nothing and had no chance for anything. He just wanted to play because that's the kind of pride and person that he is, and the kind of player that he is, and the competitor that he is. So the fact that the Ravens decided like something's off in his physical and we don't want to trade for him anymore, it's mind-boggling. I don't think anyone can understand that. I can't remember anyone of this magnitude having a trade canceled because of a failed physical. I just think the Ravens want to renegotiate this and not give 2 number ones. They maybe want to give something else, but at this point, I don't think the Raiders will ever trade with the Ravens in the future, this year, 10 years from now. I think this is just, the Ravens backing out of this is going to make a lot of teams wary of trading with the Ravens now, because if this is the way they're doing business, it just screws up everybody's accounting essentially for what they plan to do for their teams. So this is just crazy. We're going to have more fallout from this. I mean, I had so many other things I wanted to talk about. I've been waiting for this free agent frenzy to end, but I couldn't let this one pass without coming out and talking about something. So I don't know, more stuff's going to come out this morning as the, people wake up and, the reporters start trying to find out and talk to the Ravens organization and see what's going on. But again, because of privacy concerns with medical conditions, they're not going to give details, but they're going to tell us hopefully why they decided to back out. And again, does it mean that they don't want Maxx Crosby? They just want to renegotiate the terms and not be 2 number ones. But either way, in about 5 hours, at noon today, the new league starts and all these trades are supposed to become final. And now, the Raiders have Maxx Crosby back on their accounting sheet and they have to account for his salary, and it's going to affect how they move forward. So this is so interesting and so crazy. I don't know, drop a comment below. What do you think? What do you think's going on with the Ravens? Did they just get cold feet? Did they just realize it's too much to give up for a player coming off an injury? I don't know. What does that mean for Trey Hendrickson, who's still out there and no one's talked to him? He's got his own injury that I think has been affecting why no one's signed him at this point in this free agency period. So I don't know. I literally could talk about this all day. This is just crazy. Drop a comment below. Tell me what you think. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I've got so much more that I want to talk about with free agency. We'll talk about that the next time. But drop a comment below. What do you think is going on with the Maxx Crosby situation? How do you feel about it? Thanks for watching. Thanks for participating. I'll see you guys in the next podcast.